Question about wrist pain when holding bar chords. Two things. If you guys do the bar chord video that I was talking about, which is in there on my YouTube, I think either my YouTube or my Patreon is linked there. So go check it out because it's not too far deep into either YouTube or Patreon. But if you're kind of focusing, like I always say, on the upper part of your bar chords and not stressing, trying to squeeze down on that finger, that'll alleviate some of the wrist pain. The only other aspect of this is the fact that when you're starting to learn, you're kind of like overexerting, over bending your wrist to kind of get it like up and around the neck, which obviously will happen less once you build up the strength. It'll also happen less once you get a little bit more used to not trying to absolutely squeeze the hell out of this back finger, focusing on this a little bit more, and eventually just getting a little bit more relaxed. Once it becomes relaxed, all of that tension is going to go away, and all of that kind of like overexerting. I mean, if your wrist is bent for a long period of time, it just cuts the blood flow off here, and that's usually where that pain starts. Eventually developing into like carpal tunnel syndrome, but not for a very long time. So if you just feel like a little bit of pain there, it's fine. So that is really the best way to get rid of that pain, is to kind of follow the steps that I talk about, which is just make sure if you're doing whatever bar chord you're doing, focusing on these fingers, just lay this down, so you get that clicking sound, and then eventually start adding a little pressure here. Bottom strings are still clicking, but up here you get a little bit more pressure, and then eventually you can kind of like get the whole thing down without having to squeeze the hell out of it. Squeeze the hell out of it. So hope that helps.